Let's go again.
Brown 45! Brown 45! Hot, 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 hot!
You are listening to Any Given Sunday, Australia.
Alrighty, joining us now for technically round 3 of this interview is a linebacker out of the Gold Coast. He's an entrepreneur making massive waves in the clothing industry. He's formerly number 30 for the Harding University Bisons, Mr. Ben Karikari. How are you for the third time, mate?
I'm great, man. How are you guys? Thanks for having me.
Yes, we can hear you. That's amazing. Like I said, we've already had this interview before, yourself and I, a few weeks ago, but we did have a few troubles, so we're getting it going again. We do know each other now quite well, which is good. It will help out with the interview, but we're going to go with the same question that I ran with you last time, so hopefully you remember your answer. 3 people, just to get in the side of Ben and know the other side of you and how you work. 3 people that you'd have at a dinner party, mate.
So my answer's changed a little bit since last time, but I definitely have Future, the rapper. I listen to him like the other day. I don't know how this whole dynamic will work. Probably Joe Rogan as well. I know I like his podcast. Just listen to him talk to just random people, whether it's like professional athletes or just even like beekeepers and stuff like that. Just random things. And then third person, I don't know, starting to be following boxing quite a bit. So Anthony Joshua, he's like a British boxer.
Oh,
so
yes.
Future,
Yes.
Joe Rogan, AJ.
Is he still number 1, AJ?
I don't even know right now, but he's just a cool guy, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And so last time you said Joe Rogan and your 2 boys from, was it Harding? You had the 2 boys have been pushed out and they've been replaced. I love it.
I'm going to see him last time, so I'm good.
Yeah, fair enough. Do you follow boxing a bit, Danny, don't you?
A little bit. Like, I know who Anthony Joshua is. He's an absolute beast of a human being. He's just built for the sport.
Exactly. Heavyweight, bro. So big.
It's massive.
Just in boxing.
Yeah, exactly right. Didn't run for anyone.
He got beaten by the sloppy bloody Mexican, didn't he?
Yeah, Andy Ruiz, something like that, I think. After that, it went downhill a little bit, but
he's on his way back up.
Exactly. He'll bounce back.
Yeah, we love a comeback story.
Yeah. All right, so everything that I did find on you, it listed Gold Coast as your hometown, but that's not actually where you were born. Where were you? Where did you grow up, and where were you born? And also, why do you list Gold Coast as your hometown if you weren't born there?
So I was born in the northern beaches of Sydney, a little city called Avalon, and I grew up there till about I was 10 years old, and then me and my siblings and my mom, we all moved up to the Gold Coast when I was 10, and I don't know, this has been really home for me. This is where I did all my high school. I was here from 10 to 18, where I guess I became a man, and all my roots are really here. I've got my still a couple friends and my dad back in Sydney, but I know I claim the Gold Coast, man. If you've been here, you know how nice it is, and that's why I call Gold Coast my home.
A lot of people definitely travel there just to be on holiday because of how nice it is. So yeah, we definitely can imagine how nice it would be to actually live there. You credit your older brother for the reason that you fell in love with NFL. Was there any other sports you played before taking up NFL?
I played a little bit of rugby throughout high school or throughout maybe middle school up till about grade 9. But I was always just, because my brother started playing football a couple of years before me. Whenever, he was down to practice, I could just go watch him at practice or hit the field with him when he's getting in extra work. So I was always around football, but it was about grade 9 or 10 when I started I stopped playing rugby. I stopped doing any other sport and just really focused on football. So yeah, and all the credit goes to my brother for sure.
Do you feel like any of the skills from rugby were transferable?
Probably my tackling. When I first started playing football, I was a running back and played a little bit of receiver, but when I transitioned to linebacker down back at Riverside, I think, maybe my tackling and just, I don't know, my movement with the ball sort of translated a little bit. Yeah, probably running with the ball as well from rugby to being a running back as well.
And how did you feel the transition from playing on the offensive side, because that's where you said you started, to then going to the defensive side?
I really liked it, man, honestly. I wouldn't have taken it back. That's where I got my scholarship to go to Harding as well. And I sort of fell in love with it after I moved over to the defense. It's just fun, man. Like hitting people, like you can learn the world as a running back as well. But I know I think I like the skill and like the strategy that comes with defense and the game plan and how it's like every single person like plays a role in defense and you're only strong as your weakest link out there. So I really like that.
How did you go actually adjusting? Because when we spoke last time, you hadn't done too many like sessions and on the defensive side before you actually switched over. So how did you go adjusting with all the plays and all the calls that you had to come with?
Yeah, so when I moved to linebacker, it was like about 3 games into our season, my freshman season at Riverside, and so it's pretty much like being baptized by fire. Like already going over to the US and from here playing football over in Australia. The level is just like so much higher, even at like the junior college level. Just things just like it's way faster pace and everything is just. My head was like spinning a little bit. I'm glad I had the spring semester and like summer camp to get adjusted. But then going into straight into defense, I really just had to do whatever I could to try and make up for lost time. So I was after every practice, I stay extra, do some work with my coach, do extra film sessions. Everything, like just do whatever I could to like get up to speed with the other guys that had been playing defense like all the previous spring semester and summer camp, and then just their whole lives. Like being a linebacker and transitioning defense was completely new for me, so I just had to do whatever I could to make up.
With it being so new to you, was there a player that you kind of base your game around?
It was hard because I didn't even watch too much like on a film or on like professional players or anything like that or NFL. But one guy I do really like is Fred Warner. He's an athlete, man, and he's so more the new age linebacker. How they're a little bit longer. They can drop into coverage really well, still blitz and rush the backfield. So really, Fred Warner. Like let's say I base my game around him, but he's someone that I look up to, and just how athletic he is and the plays he makes is really I don't know, inspiring, I guess.
And you played a couple of seasons at Riverside before transferring to Harding. How did the journey to Riverside begin?
So that sort of started back in Australia. So I was playing in the junior the Colts for the Gold Coast Stingrays, and I was doing pretty decent. Pretty decent. I got a couple medals, and we won the state championship and the under 18 league, and we end up going to state and stuff like that, playing in the national team, and the state team as well. But then I wanted to push myself a little bit, so I jumped up to the men's team. I think when I was like 16 or 17, and started playing with it's like an open division, so just anyone above 18. So rolling with some 30-year-olds and stuff like that. Doing that, and then I was playing with a guy called Miziona Aologteapi. He's I call him my cousin, but we're not related. But so I played on the state team with him, I think back in 2015, and he went to Riverside before me, like right before I got there. And I know I was doing like well in Australia. I wanted to keep pushing myself, and then some other guys around me like Francois Passamani, Coach Greg Glasser, just some guys were pushing me to try and do more, and said that I might have the skill and talent to go to the US. They said try and go for it. So I reached out to Mizzy that was at Riverside. He put me in touch with the coaches. I sent him my film from some state tournaments and stuff like that, and they started recruiting me from there. And then it was up to like 2018 was when I decided to go over there, and that's when I started playing over there, studying, trying to earn a scholarship to transfer to NCAA school.
I'm glad you brought up your cousin's name because, geez, I would not have got that right. If you've seen any of our episodes, I regularly stuff up the names, so I'm glad you said that. Going back a question, because you were, like you said, you started out as a running back. Was there any players in the running back position that you kind of followed and watched and enjoyed watching?
Yeah, man, I loved Todd Gurley. All around his time back at Georgia, that was like RBU. They had like Sony Michel, Nick Chubb, James White, all those running backs. But yeah, I love Todd Gurley. He was just a baller, and even with his first couple seasons in the league, he was really good. And I was sick because I think last year he came to Australia. I was like touring around with the NFL, so I missed out on that. But Todd Gurley's definitely a guy I looked up to at running back.
Yeah, I was going to say, because didn't he go down and see the actual Stingrays and you were over the other side of the world? And
Yeah, I was sick. I seen all the Snapchats like on the Gold Coast at the beaches I surf at. I was like, man, I wish I was home.
yeah, but you did take that jump over to Riverside. How'd you go? Because you went over alone. Like you said, you had a few people over there already, but going over alone, were you nervous about taking that challenge on, or were you just, head down, bum up, go for it?
I was just excited to do something different. Like the Gold Coast is a little small compared to Sydney or probably Melbourne, and a lot of my friends just do the same thing. Go to my high school. There's only a couple universities on the coast, so they just go to one of those few ones. And I was just excited to do something different. And I knew that whatever the result would be, whether I got a scholarship or not, like just the experience itself would be, I think really good. And it was an opportunity which, if I didn't take, I probably would have regretted. So I didn't want to live with any regrets. And like if things worked out, they worked out. If not, then I could still live with that. And just the fact that I didn't want to miss out on this opportunity. So that was my mindset going over there. So it was a little tough, not having my family over there and not having too many friends when I first started out there. But I know things will work out for the best for sure.
Mm. Well, you spent 5 years over there, so I imagine that you see it as a success that you did take the leap. But you had to start off with at Riverside. You had a couple of pretty successful seasons. I think you only lost 1 or 2 games over that 2-year span and took home a title at the end. How was your time there before you transferred?
Yeah, man, I love Riverside. I was on a scholarship at JUCO in so the junior colleges in California, they're a separate association compared to the rest of the US because there's so many JUCOs that play football in Cali. So you can't get financial aid for football. So, everything's paid for unless you're like a Cali resident or getting, financial aid from the government as an American citizen. But yeah, no, I was paying for everything over there. So it's going through a little bit of the JUCO struggle, but it was so worth it. That's when I met like 2 of my closest friends, Kue Olatoa and Monita. They're still my boys to this day. And man, like I just like learned so much. I grew a lot, just kind of pretty much like learning how to be a man again, and I gained a lot of independence. So yeah, I love my time at Riverside, and I was blessed to be part of a really good program. We lost, I think, 2 games my first season, but one of the games during the regular season we lost to Fullerton. That one was sort of like taken away because they got caught up. I think that whole season got like wiped off because of some little scandal or something like that. Then we lost in the playoffs. But yeah, my sophomore season there, we went undefeated, which was sick. And I got like a little ring from that, and hopefully I'll get to see my boys again in a couple of years. And yeah, sick. So I was blessed to be a part of such a good program.
You keep on mentioning the boys. I'm guessing you made some pretty good lifelong friends over there.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's just like a brotherhood you make in football. As a Riverside and then as well as Harding, man. Like these are, guys. Like I didn't have any family over there, but all these guys like really became my family. So they're friends, and then also outside of football, just relationships you make, just being over there. And I know Americans are really friendly to Australians, which is just super cool. So I met a lot of people outside of football that took care of me, helped me out, and just showed me around the US and showed me the home. So super grateful for that.
So it definitely sounds like you've got 2 homes at the moment.
Yeah, definitely.
So when you transferred to Harding, first of all, was the weather a little bit different?
Oh yeah, 100%. I got down there like 2 days before full camp. It's the middle of summer, and it is so humid in the south. I couldn't even breathe. Just like step off the plane and start sweating instantly.
What's the humidity like? What's it compared to like? Are we talking like North Tropical Queensland humidity or?
I think so. I've never been up to like that far north, but the humidity is literally like 90-95% during the summer. So like literally you walk outside and you just start sweating. You just want to walk so slow and like not get sticky. I was taking like 3 or 4 showers a day.
So maybe more like some Southeast Asia humidity. That is next level.
And whereabouts is Harding? It's in I got me some. I was going to say Kansas. It's in Arkansas, yeah?
Yeah, so it's in Arkansas. It's to the right of Texas. It's about a 5-hour drive from Dallas. And then Harding specifically it's pretty much the middle of Arkansas. It's like an hour north of the capital, Little Rock.
Yeah, nice. So how did the actual transfer come about from going from Riverside over to Harding?
I think that was just from my coaches, to be honest. Like I had a good film and good grades, so they were the ones, pushing. That's where you go to a JUCO to try and transfer to a school and get out. So the coaches are always constantly, battling for you, trying to put you in front of other coaches to get you an opportunity. And I remember pretty vividly because it was on a pretty big moment for me in my life. So I was like walking out of Target with a couple of my friends in Cali one afternoon after the season, and I just get a coach from. I get a call from Coach Simmons just saying, "Hey son, we like your film, like your grades. Have you heard of Harding? Like we'd love to get you out here." And a couple of days, or I think a week or two later, I went on a visit. I love the team, man. The coaches, as a head coach, he's the one that picked me up and recruited me. Yeah, I met a bunch of the guys, like the linebackers and then the team, and super friendly. The defensive scheme was pretty similar to how we ran it in Riverside. And I just like fell in love with the school and the program when I went on my visit. That was a big game changer for me. And I didn't commit on my visit. Me and the coach were like just discussing and working out some things. And then about a week later, a week before I left the US to come back home during COVID, I signed my scholarship letter and returned back that fall of 2020.
Yeah, nice. You gotta play their field as well. Make sure that they know that I've got other offers out there. You're not the only one, but nice. That's I'm sure that was a huge moment when you actually did sign that letter, though.
Yeah, no, that was a blessing. I remember I was actually in Las Vegas visiting my friend Kue. Kue also because he went to UNLV, and so I was already had my flights come back home for COVID. I was in Las Vegas, just got a scholarship, so I knew I was coming back to the US. Like life was very good at that time.
Were you 21 at the time?
I think so.
Yeah, I'm sure the night was enjoyable then if you were 21. But yeah, I've lost where I was at. So you mentioned your studies and you did pretty well. You've actually won a couple of academic awards and you majored in informational systems. What the hell is informational systems? And was that part of the selection as well, your studies?
So yeah, when I transferred to Harding, the education was huge for me, and that was like one of the things I had to talk to the coach about. But COVID gave me an extra year. It was sort of a blessing for me. It was a downfall for a lot of people, but gave me an extra year of eligibility, an extra year to study. So when I first transferred to Harding, I was finishing off my undergraduate degree in kinesiology, which is like essentially exercise science for Australia. Yeah. And then with my extra year of eligibility, I studied information systems, emphasizing data analytics, and pretty much it's just the intersection of humans and like technology. So how like businesses and corporations can use technology to better their business and processes and stuff.
And you've mentioned that your first year at Harding was a COVID year. Plus, you broke your arm. How'd that come about?
I broke my arm last season, so my senior season, unfortunately. So I missed like the majority of my season, which was a little tough. But it happened. I think game 4 against a team called SNU, and I just ran on the blitz, and it was a little like unorthodox. The entire offensive line cut all our players, and I was coming on the blitz, and I just put my arm down and just broke it right before halftime. And I didn't find out till the Monday after that it was broken. No, I was just hoping it was a little sore, but it ended up being like I broke my radius in half, so it ended up being like a little bad. Oof. So I didn't miss 7 games. I came back. My brother came over for my senior day, the very last game of the season at home, so he got to say that. And then I just wrapped up my cast and got a couple of plays in, so I ended off my season on a high for sure.
Oh, that's great. So overall your time at Harding was success apart from obviously that?
Yeah, for sure. The COVID year, we didn't play. I came back in the fall of 2020, and because of all the regulations, we just had like pretty much like another fall camp. And then we came back in the next year, 2021. We had a pretty good season. I think we made it to the second round of playoffs. Just got taken out by a team which continued to beat us. They were about 0-4 against them, team in Missouri. So, but we had won, I think, about 10-2 or something like that in 11-1 my 2021 season. And then that last season we were doing all right for the first few games, but unfortunately didn't get to play. But I still around the team. I still working out every day with them, going to meetings, training. went to every game. So, you know, I was still part of the team and, you know, rallying for my boys. So, still had a good time.
Yeah, nice. Last time I spoke to you, you had your final exams coming up, but obviously since then you've graduated, you've finished up, you travelled around a little bit, and then you made your way home. So how's it been, you know, coming home and finishing up after, like I said, 5 years away?
It's been good, man.
Did you pass to start with? You obviously graduated. That's
Yeah, thanks. My master's just a couple weeks ago, the start of May. So, you know, being done with school for a little bit is it's really nice. Yeah, I was really stressed out about my finals when I was we did our first interview, but that's all good. Everything went smooth. Got my diploma. So
yeah, nice.
I went to school for a little bit, and then I just it was pretty much just closing up my life essentially down in Arkansas. Like I sold my car that I had out there, I was moving out of my apartment, and then to spend the last couple of weeks back in Cali with you know, just my friends and his family, just really kicking it, enjoying the time. But coming home, I've been home like 8 days now, and it's been so good, man. When I got off the plane, I was driving home back to the Gold Coast from Brisbane, it's just like smiling the whole way because I haven't been home in a year, and just getting to see my family, hang out with them. I'm just taking this time right now to really just figure out what I want to do with my life. So, you know, we're going to try to work minimally. I'll still like to apply for jobs and hoping to go back to the US in a couple months, but just spending the time with, I've got 3 siblings, a little nephew as well. So going over to see him all the time and going to the beach a lot. Even though it's winter, it's still warm on the Gold Coast. So really just enjoying my time with my family, man, because I missed out on, you know, quite a few things being over in the US the past 5 years. So just trying to make up for lost time and just enjoy each day right now.
Yeah, it's not warm down here in Melbourne, mate. I can tell you that much. I might be wearing a t-shirt, but it's I've got the heater right above me, and it's keeping me well and truly warm. But we've got a couple of final questions for you, mate. But before we get onto that, I do want to thank you for your time. You have been speaking to you over the last, 3 or 4 months now. Like, you are extremely busy and a hard man to get a hold of, which is a credit to you, which is a great thing. So we do appreciate your time, and I really, I love the way that you went about it. Like 5 years ago when you went over, there wasn't a heap of Aussies going over there. So you've blazed a trail. You like you said, you went JUCO and had to pay your own way, which I think is admirable. And you've shown that you don't have to go to the big fancy colleges to make your way over there. So I appreciate the way you went about it, and we appreciate you for coming on and giving us some time, mate.
Anytime, man. Yeah, thanks you guys for making the time. I know we've had this in the works for quite a while, so I'm glad to get to do it again. It's cool.
Yeah, nah, for sure. But I did mention at the top that you are making waves in the fashion industry, I guess, or there's a few different, the sports industry. I am wearing one of the shirts. You are actually one of the proud sponsors. I think I've got it. Yeah, it's up here in the background. The proud sponsors of Any Given Sunday at American Connection. We'll give you a bit of a plug. Don't forget, 10% off. Just go to your Instagram or your website, put in the Any Given Sunday code, and you got 10% off. But tell us about, how did it start? It's you and your brother and your cousin, I believe. Like, give us a bit of a background and talk up American Connection.
Yeah, so there's 4 of us, me, my brother, my cousin, and one of our boys out here, James, that plays football with us. And it really started with just my cousin back in the US, because he was out in Cali for the first 6 months I was there. So we were, training together before he went off to Washington State. And we both played for the Stingrays. And if you play football over here, or, you've been to any clubs, like, they don't have generally the best gear and stuff like that. It's nothing, that you see on Saturdays and Sundays and Mondays over in the US, like not the best gear, the best cleats, anything like that, best equipment. But we just had access to that, like all that stuff, like, brand new speed flexes, like new cleats, gloves, or like, the football swag was like just so easy for us to access over in the US. And still, we wanted to be able to bring that back to Australia and offer that. So, because otherwise, be sending stuff back to my brother and stuff and a couple of my close friends, but just wanted to be able to grow the game over here, because essentially it's all the coaches over here and the guys that, put in the effort to build, the foundation of football in Australia that, helped me get over to the US. So that started with us, and started, just with like a few little things like the pacifier mouth guards, a couple of pairs of cleats, just sending it back over to Australia, and like girdles even as well, because, you can't just go down to Rebel Sport and buy some football equipment. Everyone's wearing like rugby boots and stuff like that. So we're just trying to grow the game. and just give the players and athletes better access to the gear over here, and you don't have to deal with the conversion rate, the shipping from the US, and even some of the big companies over in the US don't even ship to Australia, so you can't even get any gear. So pretty much just creating the ease of access and like opening the world of sports for the guys back home. That was our goal. And it's been sick. We've been in business 2 or 3 years now and grown a lot. Helped out a lot of guys. There's a bunch of football tournaments coming around which we sponsor. There's guys all around the country repping our gear, which is a blessing. Even some of the Aussies that are over in the States, a lot of the guys are supporting us, and they all have the same mission, like just to grow the game back here, and it's just a love of the game. Just it's a little community. Football's obviously not as big as rugby or soccer or AFL over here, but the guys that do really like it, they're doing stuff like this, like making podcasts or just doing whatever they can to stay in that community, keep it strong, and grow it. So that's our goal, really.
That's why we've got a bit of a shared goal, because all we want to do is spread the love for the game, do everything we can for Australian players, especially like the ones that are going to the States or even the ones that are playing here. So anyway, to spread the love for the game is great.
No doubt.
So we spoke about your past 5 years you've been in the States, and you said that you potentially might be getting another work visa to go back to the States. What's the grand plan? What does the next 5 years look like?
Yeah, so after the season, I was really excited to come back to Australia, and I had to stay in the US for the spring semester to finish out my studies and everything. And the closer I got to, the day of leaving and graduating, like the more I was like, man, I'm going to miss this place. So I applied for a work visa and waiting for that to hopefully get approved. And for the next few years, I'll probably see myself back in the US somewhere. Like I have a couple job offers out in Dallas, Texas right now. I do love the coast. I love surfing and the beach. So, I'm trying to negotiate. I don't know, maybe go back to Cali or Florida or somewhere in the Carolinas. But I think for the next few years, probably just do whatever I can to stay over there in the US, work, build more connections, opportunities. It'll be really good for our business as well. So just, make the most of the opportunities I have. Like the work permit is a part of my student visa. So, that's a blessing that I'll be able to hopefully like leverage that and utilize it. So try and make the most of that. And then I definitely want to settle down in Australia though. The pace of the society over here is just so chill, and I love the beach. Like if I could move back to the Gold Coast, that'd be super nice, when I'm ready to settle down. But for the foreseeable future, I'm probably going to be in the States for a while.
How soon are you thinking you're heading back?
Maybe like August. So probably.
Does your family know this? Are we breaking news to the family here?
Yeah, they don't know that. They know I'm just gonna be here for a little bit. So that's why I'm trying to spend most of my time just hanging with them, not doing too much. I'm not studying at least, so that frees up a lot of time. And I just work every now and then with just like little jobs. I don't really need to work too much right now. And really make the most of the time kicking it with my family and spend time with my nephew and stuff. So they're all aware, everything comes to an end. But I'll be able to come back a lot more often than I was when I was in college. So things will be a little different.
Nah, beautiful. Sounds like there's some exciting things on the horizon for yourself anyway, mate. And we look forward to, working with you guys going forward. And like you said, just growing the game in Australia, making it more accessible. Like that's the grouse thing that you guys are doing, making it the equipment and like you said, the swag really more accessible for the players down here. So I think it's incredible what you guys are doing.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, you guys too. Just spreading the game, and every week people that can tune into and listen to your podcast, like people learn it so much, and just hearing guys talk about football, like people love that stuff. So what you're doing is welcome as well, man.
No, we appreciate it. It's actually Danny, we just worked out it's 12 months today that we've been on the air. So this won't be out today, it'll be out tomorrow. But 12 months today we've been going, so we get to share it with you. How bloody good.
Yes, man. I'm very grateful for that, man. Thank you.
Nah, absolutely, mate. We, like I said, look forward to following your journey, and we'll definitely keep in touch with you going forward, mate.
100%. Yeah, I look forward to it, man. Hopefully I'll see you guys down in Melbourne or something.
Yeah, bring a jumper.
Welcome.
Yeah, actually, that's probably better. We'll come up there for sure. But
I think that's a much better idea, especially now, especially in the winter months. Because when you're talking about your dates and you're like, oh, I'll go back in August. I was like, you're going to go from winter to winter. But I guess when you're at the Goldie, it doesn't really matter that much.
And if you actually go to Dallas, I don't think Dallas will be too. That's not cold, surely.
No, it won't be too bad at all. But yeah, I've literally just been chasing winters, which like sucks. But I know. Hopefully, I'll come back for Christmas time. I've been back in Australia for Christmas in like 5 years, so if I come back for Christmas at the beach, man, that's my goal for this year.
Yeah, beautiful. Nah, I love it, mate. All right, we'll definitely keep in contact, and we'll speak to you soon.
Good talking to you guys. Appreciate it, man. Have a good day. Thank you. Take care.